Welcome to Growing Bremerton Together with Mayor Patty Lent. I have two exciting guests today. The first is Cynthia Engelgau. She is with the Parks and Recs Department and also the liaison for our Arts Commission. My second guest is Emily Russell, the chair of the Arts Commission. Stay with us. Welcome to Growing Bremerton Together with Mayor Patty Lent. I have two great guests with me today, and they're with our Arts Council and our Parks and Recreation. First is Cynthia Engelgau. Welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you.
And secondly, the chair of our Arts Commission is Emily Russell.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you for being here. We're first going to learn a little about you, Cynthia, and I call you Cyn, so do you mind?
Nope.
And I was just surprised to learn that you've been with the city for 28 years.
Mm-hmm. 28 years.
You started.
Just seems like yesterday.
It started. Probably she was an intern because she looks like she
no,
doesn't have that behind her.
Oh yeah. Well, I took a class. I signed up for a class at Parks and Rec. It was like basket weaving, and Charlene Burnett recruited me. Said I should be a teacher because she was impressed with my basket weaving skills, I guess. But one of the first classes that I taught for Charlene was an art class for kids.
For kids.
Adventures in art.
So where did you grow up?
I'm from Oregon.
Oregon.
I graduated from Oregon State.
Mm-hmm. Did you take art? Was that
No,
your
I was an
career?
education major.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd always wanted to teach secondary education.
Me
I
too.
love preschool kids. And then I just kind of ended up, I moved up here in '85 and met Charlene and then started teaching classes, and one thing led to another, and now I'm still here. And
Well, we're glad you're here. Because I work with you in the summertime. Not really with you, but I love what you do with the kids. So we've got all kinds of programs. We have in the last couple of years, we've expanded to 4 different parks where we actually have lunch for the students and some kind of a program, whether it's a reading program, some art, some activity. You really have a well-rounded program that you do for the kids. And can you remember how many kids actually went through the feeding and our summer programs this year?
oh, over 5,000.
Over 5,000 kids. That's immense, and it really shows what the community does and what our Parks and Rec does for families. And Emily, did you grow up here in?
I did.
You did. So where did you graduate?
I graduated from the University of Washington, landscape architecture, and before that I was actually just at Olympic College and Olympic High School, so very close to
We
here.
love Olympic College, and they're getting a new arts building.
Yes. it's very
In fact,
exciting.
this is the most expensive building funding from the state of Washington for any community college. There are 34 community colleges in the state, and we are really in the top 10. So anyone that has anything to do with OC, we're pretty excited about.
Yeah.
And then our Arts Commission. So I'm going to ask Cyn when we started that, and it was actually to take care of 1% of the arts. And that was voted on by all of our voters. We went to them and said, we like public art. The city will have more recognition. It will be a quality of life. It's great for us to have, especially with all our new streetscapes. But that money has gone toward all of the street projects that we have throughout the city. Cyn, were you here at the very beginning when we started that?
You mean with the city?
With the 1% of the art?
So I was with the city. I'm with the Parks and Recreation Department.
Right.
But at the time when the ordinance was written, the Art Commission was under the Planning Department. And so I followed everything they did and was excited about that.
And they had, because planners plan for streetscapes and for where buildings are going to be, all of our zoning and all of the growth of a city. However, financially, when we went through the recession, we had to take and stop the Arts Commission entirely. We didn't have any money going into that fund, and we didn't have a staff member in community development that could take over and work with the Arts Commission as a staff member. So it was 4 years.
Right.
Emily, I think you started in 2011.
In 2007, and then I became
chair.
chairperson for Arts Commission in 2011.
Were you disappointed when we had to take and give you a sabbatical?
Of course I was disappointed, but I definitely understood. We were definitely in a recession by then, and things were hard, and people were losing their jobs, and we knew that we, couldn't be continuing to add art during that time when things are kind of sensitive.
As we have progressed and the value of the city has increased, and that's through growth and permitting and again, the community development. However, during the time that I've been mayor, and so now in my second term, and knowing what you've done with the Arts Council, and that's different than the commission.
It's the West Sound Arts Council.
West Sound Arts Council, and that covers how much of the county?
All of West Sound areas, so that would be a little broader area than the county.
Because right now we have on display at the Norm Dix Government Center. It started with the first Friday in October, and it is showing all of the recycled material that has gone into your fashion shows that you've done each year with the Tea Party. The last couple of times it's been at Olympic College. And is that continuing so that we'll have that every year?
Yes, we're going to have it again May 7th.
May 7th,
So
2016.
I'll send you the date so you can put it on your calendar. But the West Sound Arts Council has done these tea and fashion shows for about 15 years as a fundraiser for their scholarship program and grants program, and they donate scholarships and grants to the community and do other special events.
And you've got some good news for our audience, because a recipient of one of the scholarships actually has just been crowned Miss West Sound.
Brittany Brown, she was the West Sound Arts Council's 2013 scholarship recipient, but I'm also proud because she's a City of Bremerton employee. She works at the Parks Department in that summer program, Fun at the Playgrounds, at Manette. She's the counselor there, and the kids just love her.
I met her this summer.
So congratulations, Brittany.
And besides Brittany, whenever there is a new princess or a crowned queen, or because we have Miss Silverdale and Miss Paulsbo and Miss Kitsap and Miss West Sound, they all get a little sister or a young princess that they mentor. And Sin, if you'd like to also give a congratulations to your own granddaughter.
Yes, Ava, but also Justice, who is the other Pearl Princess with Brittany. So congratulations, girls, and congratulations again to Brittany.
And that's pretty much fun. I'm hoping that you can see behind me. I have a piece of artwork that Ava actually painted when she was 5. She had a One Little Woman show down at our Chamber of Commerce, and lots of people saw it on First Friday. And so she is not only in the arts, but I think does she sing or dance, or
No.
She does everything.
She does take dance from Bremerton dance.
So now that's all the frill that we have. That's good news for the audience, for you to know who this is. But we also have some exciting things happening with our commission. You are again the chair.
Yes.
And how many members do we have?
We have 7. We are looking right now for 2 new arts commissioners. So if anyone is interested in joining us, please do submit.
And what
but
kind
we
of
need 7.
qualifications do you kind of look for? I know I make the appointments, but I always like to work with the commission to find out if you have some kind of a skill set, or you're looking for someone that will bring some new information or a little more background.
Right.
You're a landscape architect.
Right.
And sometimes we get artists and sometimes we get teachers.
Yeah, we do really try to round out the group as far as having a range of expertise. So definitely an art background of some kind, planning, landscape architecture. The list goes on.
People that just appreciate art, that might, like maybe a marketing person that would like to get involved, or there's just so many people that appreciate art and
graphic design.
And sometimes they don't even know that they can excel in this. And so how long is the term?
2 years. Is it a 2-year term for each?
Up to 4 years.
Up to 4 years, so they're staggered.
Yeah.
So you have
Right.
someone that has the experience you have, Emily,
Yeah.
that guides them through. Because when you're first appointed to a commission, you're kind of saying, now what do I do next?
Right.
So what is the commission planning to do next?
I'll start in and then you can
Okay.
give the details if you like. But so right now we are working on a new project and we are selecting art for all of the utility boxes in town. So they'll be specifically designed to wrap around the utility boxes. They'll be site specific. Local artists who understand that particular location, and we want art that reflects something special about that particular location of that box. So
You know,
it's
I'm
exciting.
pretty excited about this project because we had some graffiti taggers that always did the one on 6th and High, 11th and High. It's just on the corner, it's gray, and it's a perfect little place for you to tagline it or put some graffiti. And so it was our Public Works Department that said, we've got this project where we have a type of wrap where you can wash it off, it doesn't harm the art, it is decorative, and it's going to be easier to keep clean. And then I felt, as the mayor and with Public Works, that's public art, and we needed to really reconstruct the commission, get you involved again, because we knew we had something that was going to really make the city look great. There are other cities that already have this, and I've had people send me photos or emails. Vancouver, Canada, Victoria, other little cities, Portland, Oregon, they have some of the same types of art. And you've already selected 2 artists, and they are?
Well, the first artist was selected for the box on 6th and Washington, which will probably be the first one installed soon, this month, October, beginning of November, and that was Amy Burnett with this beautiful painting called Salmon Woman. It's just gorgeous, and that's a perfect location for it, close to the water.
And we have view corridors that will always allow people driving down our street to see the water, so to see that Salmon Woman art. You know, Amy has quite a history with the city. She was the first one to buy a building before we ever had revitalization. And she also was the one that prompted us to become an arts district. There are only 2 art districts in the state. One is in Spokane and one is Bremerton. So to have an arts commission and have this public art that you're involved in. The second piece, what?
Well, it's the location that you were discussing about the graffiti. So it's 11th and High, and a graphic artist was selected. His name is Joshua Fisher, and he did I just can't tell you how cool it is. It's a graphic design of a futuristic city, a fun, whimsical, futuristic city. It's bright and colorful. And that's like the perfect location for it. Right?
It is, because it's kind of on a hill. And as you're approaching it, you can see the Cascades one direction, not quite the Olympics on the other, but you'll see that before you kind of go over the crest of that hill. Now there was some funding available to the artists, and where did that funding come from?
Well, we call it an artist stipend because it was
It's not worth what the value of the art piece, but it is something to recognize them.
It's $500. So the Arts Commission found $500 to donate the stipend to Amy Burnett, and then the West Sound Arts Council gifted the other $500 to be given to Joshua for his art stipend. But anyway, the Art Commission really felt like the artists should be rewarded for their work. The rest of the project is paid for Public Works and Utilities. So the boxes and the wrap installation and everything comes out of that budget. So there really wasn't anything coming out of the Art Commission budget. So they thought, well, we could at least reward the artists. And so the community could help us show the artists that we appreciate their work that they submit and is selected by also gifting $500 to the Art Commission or the artist selected, or they could even gift a whole box if they wanted to help Public Works. So there's opportunities.
And the nice thing is that at a city council meeting, which is televised, there's recognition from the person that's gifting the funds as well as the artist. Now, your next, are you trying to do maybe 2 a year or more than that? Do you have a goal set for the number of boxes you're going to take and have art?
Yeah, I'd say at least that.
Well,
Yeah.
right. The actual boxes themselves, that's kind of dependent upon Public Works and how many they plan on redoing. But right now, there is an open call for artists, and you can find that on the city's website and on the Art Commission page, and just click on the open call, and it explains. So we're taking submissions right now. So we've had several new submissions since the other pieces have been selected. So we're collecting different kinds, and the public can go out and pick the box that they, want to do. And it doesn't have to be artists. It can be a school. It can be a group of friends, a neighborhood group, anyone.
You know what's fun, and I'm not sure if you're even aware, is our Public Works in the summertime, our snow plows. We have taken them to different schools, and the kids at the schools have actually painted the inside of the snow plow. So the first one was, I want to think maybe Armanjar. Don't quote me on that, but the second one was Peace Lutheran, and we just took a picture. They put snowmen, so someone helped design it, and it was one class, about 9 to 11 students, that got to take and paint the inside of the snowplow. So it sits there for that piece of art at the school, and then afterwards we use it to actually remove snow. So it's just something, again, to get kids involved. I know that you're both aware of the STEM program. We know that science, technology, engineering, and math is where we need graduates. There aren't going to be enough of them in the next 5 to 10 years. But art and drama and music and dance are things that make us a society of appreciation and give us culture. So in the East Coast, they have added A to STEM to make it STEAM. And I think that Bremerton is right there on the edge of doing the same thing. So another thing, Emily, I know that because with your association with the arts, the West Sound Arts Council, you're kind of incorporating more things for the Arts Commission. So instead of having those monthly meetings and deciding about a piece of art that maybe community development would pick a location on a street, you're going to get more involved and do some more artistic things that we'll be able to see more of. Can you share some of that with us, or some things you've talked about?
That's all in the works, and we're definitely talking about a lot of different ideas and looking for more community members to suggest projects to us. But we are currently working on finding new projects. We want to try to determine what the next phase of the arts district looks like going forward, and maybe that's something new and different, and trying to really bring back First Friday in a big way and involve more of the community than we've involved before. So we like to be involved with that, revitalizing or updating, maintaining the existing sculptures on
They
on
have
Pacific.
a list, like it's 2 pages or more long.
And you did mention that the current art that we have, and some of it's 5 or even 10 years old, so what we need to do is make certain that it stays in good shape.
We want to maintain those. We want to finish, complete the series on Pacific too, of sculptures that we have currently, and then make sure that we maintain the ones that are there.
That's great.
Yeah.
I do know that as we've had to take and cut staff in different departments, so Parks really doesn't have a staff to kind of do the parks, so the art does make a difference. We have 7 districts and 7 council members, and we've concentrated so much on the downtown core, so that when someone first lands on a ferry or drives through our city, they're going to have this visual art. But hoping that you're going to reach out, so East Bremerton and the Callow or historic Charleston area. Manette is always vying for saying, well, what about us? What about us? So I know that you've got 30 square miles within the city the city has 35 parks, and now I'm not sure how many pieces of art, but it would be fun to have on our website at least a picture of each one of those art pieces. There are 3 that are modern pieces down at Evergreen Rotary Park. And someone said, why don't you move those to a location that is more visible and allow, again, more green space to be down there. I think you said, Sin, that you're going to actually repaint those or bring those to a little more vibrancy.
We budgeted that to do in 2016. So when we do that, we would research maybe some ideas of a way to do what you said. But they do on their list have a lot of ideas and fun things for all those neighborhoods you mentioned. So they haven't left anybody out in their planning and their discussions.
And I believe that most of those districts have either a little business district or a neighborhood group. Union Hill has a neighborhood group. So that would be a way that maybe someone from any of those groups could come to an arts commission. And do you allow comments from the public?
Yes, and that's exactly what we're hoping for. We want to find a representative from each of the neighborhood groups, OC, anybody that has an organization that is interested in public art, and then have those task force leaders or liaisons show up to the meetings and be the person who takes the information back to the community group and also let us know what they'd like from us, and figure out a way to collaborate on projects. So I think it's a way to reach more people, and that's one of our biggest goals.
They would get a
this year.
title too. They would get to be called our art advisory panel, and so they get a title and participate in the art commission meetings like
That's
our
great.
commissioner.
That's great. When do you meet and at what time?
We meet every third Thursday of the month from 5:30 to 7
And where?
at the Parks Department.
Yes, at Sheridan Park Community Center. building. Yeah.
So there's easy parking and it's easy to get in.
Yes.
Do you have treats?
Yes. Sin is good about always bringing us treats, so there's that incentive too.
And that's the 3rd Thursday?
Yes.
And so people can come or they can go online. And I think we're going to be able to show them during our conversation today some of the pieces that are there. And if you've got your list already listed, they can take and see if there's something there that they have appreciation for, an interest, whether being the artist or making more suggestions. I think it's a win-win circumstance. I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad that we've got this going for us in the future, because youth today, as you can see this little painting by a 5-year-old who is now
6.
Six. Her birthday is?
March, so yeah, she will be 7 soon.
She's 6. Anyway, I want to thank both of you for being my guest. I think our audience learned a lot about public art, the fun things that are going on, and all of your creative ideas. Thank you both for being with me.
Well, thanks so much for having us.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome. We look forward to you joining us next time.